Study Session 5, Bureaucracy. Introduction. In the last study session, we learned certain established thoughts on how efficiency can be attained in a workplace. In this study session, you will learn the features or standards that are obtainable in any formal organization. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this study session, you should be able to 1. Define and use correctly the term bureaucracy. 2. Highlight the basic features of a bureaucratic organization. 3. Point out the importance of bureaucracy. And 4. Describe the bureaucratic models. Definition of bureaucracy. In a simple term, bureaucracy can be defined as the standard of rules or processes of getting work done in a formal organization. It means the official system used in order to attain the targeted goals of any formal organization. The term bureaucracy is hereby commonly used in two ways. 1. To describe the form of an organization that can be termed formal organization. And 2. It is equally used to describe all the negative attributes that are connected to formal organization. The bureaucrats are those people that work in a bureaucracy and use official rules very strictly. Bureaucracy also exists in the private sector, but there is a problem of separation of ownership from control. Features of bureaucracy. Complex administrative hierarchy. This is a system within an organization which people have authority and control over the people in the rank below them, who in turn have authority over people below them. For example, in a university system, there is a hierarchical structure, that is, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Deans, Heads of Departments, etc. Specialization of skills and tasks. This is the division of workload in a workplace. It is equally called decentralization of work in order to enhance efficiency. Impersonal behavior. In a formal organization, all workers are expected to put up an impersonal behavior both to the management, co-workers, and the clients. Everybody is expected to work and address issues and personnel in accordance with formal rules. System of rule. Any formal organization is expected to have an established system of rules which greatly help in the attainment of the organizational goals, and this must apply to all workers, either the management or the co-workers. Separation of ownership from control. In a formal organization, those who own the organization may not necessarily be those that control it. An example is UAC. Tip. Bureaucracy can be defined as the standard of rules or processes of getting work done in a formal organization. It means the official system used in order to attain the targeted goals of any formal organization. Importance of bureaucracy. Despite the fact that bureaucratic principles have generated so many criticisms, there is no organization that can do without applying bureaucratic rules for the following reasons. 1. Public bureaucracy has become an instrument through which government implements decisions. 2. Much of the skills and experience that modern government needs are usually supplied by the bureaucrats. 3. Bureaucracy bridges the gap between the government and the society, especially in the area of providing social services for the people. 4. Public bureaucracy is important because it involves itself with data collection for the purpose of decision making. 5. Public bureaucracy and bureaucrats also participate in legislation modalities. This is made possible because the bureaucratic experts under government administration give advice on the likely bills to be sent for legislation. 6. Bureaucracy is also good at executing government policies. 7. Public bureaucracy and bureaucrats are also involved in what is called housekeeping functions, that is, record keeping. Hint: public bureaucracy has become an instrument through which government implements decisions. Red tapeism. This is the negative description involved in bureaucracy, and it entails too much inconsistency and inconveniences in an organization, which is caused by the following. 1. Attention to routine and scrutiny of records. 2. Excessive formalities. 3. Conservation of large number of data and making references to those data before taking decisions. These make work rules to be rigid and irritatingly slow. They are equally referred to as bottlenecks. Bureaucratic model. The bureaucratic model involves those conditions that make an organization bureaucratic and formal. Again, they are the features that distinguish bureaucratic organizations from those that are non-bureaucratic or informal organizations. Features of bureaucratic model. The conditions include the following. Division of task. This means that the task to be performed for the attainment of the organizational goals must be broken down into units or cells. That is why we have departmentalization. That is, the existence of different departments that perform different functions for the realization of organizational goals. Examples are accounts department, technical department, administrative department, etc. There should also be what is called rulification, which indicates that the work is done according to the organization's rules in order to attain the set goals. Hierarchy of authority. In a bureaucratic organization, there must be some form of hierarchical structure, starting from the highest to the lowest authority, superior and subordinates. This is important because everybody within the organization should be conscious of his or her duties, and they can be held responsible for the decisions taken or those that were not taken at all. Formality. Each worker in the organizational hierarchy is expected to perform his duties in a formal way. This is to avoid personality differences that might hinder the easy attainment of the organizational goals. The existence of public relations departments in many organizations is necessary to bridge the gap created by the formal ways of doing things. Career orientation. Appointments in a formal organization should always be based on technical qualifications and skills that are related to the nature of the job prescription. Promotion too should always be based on merit and the achievement of every worker. There should also be a way of protecting workers from arbitrary dismissal from service. Training opportunities. The levels of competence of personnel should always be maintained through formal and periodic training. New technology and skills being adopted by the organization need to be passed to the workers through effective training. Reflection. Each worker in the organizational hierarchy is expected to perform his duties in a formal way. This is to avoid personality differences that might hinder the easy attainment of the organizational goals. Probation appointment. All employees should undergo the stage of probation. This is a period of time used to test the capability of the new employed workers in an organization. It is also to practically prove the acclaimed skills and expertise of the newly recruited workers. System of documentation. In a bureaucratic organization, there are documents and records that need to be preserved for the purpose of maintaining the organizational values. When we say that bureaucratic organizations should have a formal way of work, what we are saying is that there should be a process or procedure of discipline which should be based on reward and punishment. Reward is used to motivate workers, while punishment is used to reprimand defaulting workers who act against the established norms of the organization. From these bureaucratic conditions, it should be noted that the bureaucratic model operates in both public and private organizations. The only difference is the structure, which can either be rigid or flexible. Disadvantages of the bureaucratic model. 1. The bureaucratic model leads to strict rudimentations. This means work that is done with strict compliance with the established rules makes workers lack initiative and less impact is contributed to the work done. 2. It is demoralizing. This is because the workers, especially the junior workers, find it difficult to express themselves. It makes people become working machines. 3. It is repressive because the command structure that exists makes it difficult for workers to contribute their ideas on how work can be done better for an improved goal attainment. 4. It is costly. Every formal organization is said to be costly because of the massive number of workers involved in the coordination and control of each of these units and cells within the organization. This increases expenditure. 5. There is an isolation resulting from bureaucratic organizations, especially from those organizations that want to move from informal to formal organizational structures. This is true because of the perceived distance of the management from the rest of the workforce. 6. It encourages corruption, especially in many developing countries, simply because of the complicated structure put in place. Study session summary. In this study session, you learned that bureaucratic rules are very important to any organization to promote efficiency. Also, we discussed the bureaucratic models that are the conditions or features that help in distinguishing formal organizations from informal organizations. In addition, it has been established that although some disadvantages are recorded against the bureaucratic models, no formal organization can survive without its application, either in part or full. End of study session 5. Thanks for listening.